what's up? It's AJ here, just doing another walk around video, keeping you up to date on some stuff that we just picked up at the office. We're out doing the test ride right now on the 2019 Suzuki KingQuad 750 AXi SE Plus. That's a mouthful. Really nice bike. Sorry, really nice ATV. I know everybody's on me about saying bike. It's an ATV or a quad. So it's a really nice ATV. I've spent just a little bit of time on it right now. The motor, they say they've updated. It feels very similar. Supposedly there's some more horsepower. They don't give us those numbers, so I'm not sure what it is, but it feels good. It's a big 700, and I think it's 722cc single, so you got lots of down low grunt because all that flywheel rotating down there. It is very, very snappy down low. It lifts its nose as soon as you get on the throttle. Feels really good. It does kind of clap out and run out of steam definitely sooner than a V-twin would or a larger displacement bike, but that's to be expected. In the single cylinder category, I think this motor is really strong. I'll be interested to see how it feels against Yamaha's Yamaha built 700 that they're putting in the Grizzly this year, not the Fuji 700 that they've had in their other Grizzlies for a while. This is the SE Plus version, so this is as high level as you can get. Comes with the nice aluminum rims. They're 12 inches. You don't get a tire upgrade when you go to the SE Plus. So you've got the 750 AXi, 750 AXi power steering, 750 AXi power steering SE, 750 AXi power steering SE Plus. This is the SE Plus, so as high as you can go. Throughout all those steps, you don't ever get a tire increase in size or quality. So they're just the Carlisle AT 489s, which they're not bad. And the other Japanese manufacturers seem to stick to the same idea where they just go same tire package throughout the whole range of ATV, no matter what level you're at. So I think one definite plus would be if they could just increase the tire quality, put something a little more aggressive on, and possibly maybe play with the diameter. Maybe go to a 26 on that or a 14-inch rim would just add something for the SE Plus. So SE Plus gets you this cool gray color here. It's a really nice matte. There's a little bit of dust on there, but it's a nice matte color. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's got a cool name. So that's one of the parts of the SE Plus the aluminum rims, plus the power steering, and yeah, it's a nice looking ATV. The new plastics on it I really like. It fits good. They've got a new seat profile. It's nice, very comfortable, rides good. Travel numbers are definitely reduced. So we've got, I believe up front is somewhere around 6.7 inches, and in the back it's, I believe, 7.7. If you want to compare it to an American ATV or North American ATV, the Polaris Sportsman 850 has, I believe, 10.3 inches in the back. So you're talking quite a big difference. Sorry, Graham's just passing me here in the Havoc. So yeah, you got quite a difference in travel numbers. I couldn't find the ground clearance specs on Suzuki's website. I'm guessing that they're probably reduced because of that wheel travel number being limited, but the suspension feels pretty good. Now, from the factory, they have it set on the second adjustment from full stiff on the spring collar adjuster. So they're like a snail cam adjuster. They're not a clicker, just your normal snail cam adjuster here. And they're second from the softest setting, or from the stiffest setting. I apologize. They're second from softest. And I found that is, it's not bad, but back here we're second from softest as well. It's not bad, but if you look at the actual ride-in of the ATV, I don't think I can actually show you guys this because I'm just holding the camera, but when I go to pull up on the rear end, I get maybe, from where it was, the sag number on it is maybe half an inch. So that means that there's really very little ride-in on the suspension on this ATV. So those shocks are completely extended when it's sitting static. Typically on an ATV and a side-by-side, you'll find that there's quite a bit of ride-in, usually anywhere from 1.5 inches to, on some of the big buggies, there's 4 inches to 5 inches of ride-in. So that means that when it's sitting static, you're out of the vehicle and it's, on flat ground, you can lift up on the rear rack or the rear suspension and it'll fall, those wheels will drop out usually anywhere from 1.5 inches to 5 inches depending on how big of a buggy it is. You know, a big turbo side-by-side will fall out quite a ways. And that gives you just kind of that range of motion where the shock isn't topping out as soon as it, you know, goes through a bump. It doesn't bang, bang, bang come out of the body of the shock and hit the snubber. This vehicle is definitely fully extended, and that's, I believe, to maximize their ground clearance and get all that available travel because they're working with a little bit lower number there. Is it bad? No, it's not bad. It's just, I'd like to see a little more ride in or sag on it because the suspension is definitely slightly stiffer than competitors. Now, it works good, it corners good. The power steering on it, they say, is 30% better power output from the power steering motor. I would agree. It feels great. The power steering is very, very linear, super strong, but not strong to the point where it feels awkward. There's some settings, like on Can-Am's max setting, if you're going high speed, you'll find that can be a little bit overwhelming and feels like the power steering's doing too much. On the KingQuad 750 AXi, I find the power steering to be really nice. It's only a single setting, so I'm not bashing Can-Am there. That high or max setting on a Can-Am is really for low speed crawling when your your four-wheel drive is complete, or your Visco is completely engaged. That just helps you to really get the maximum output from the motor. Can-Am has the medium and minimum settings as well, so not bashing them, but I'm just saying that this power steering is single mode, but it works very well across the range. Doesn't feel too twitchy at high speed, and yeah, works really good. They got a new gauge cluster on it. It's nice. It's LCD, and then the lights up top for EPS and, you know, engine heat, and your gear selector here. They're all LED, so yeah, it's nice. Gives you the information you need. Nothing crazy, but it's definitely better than an analog gauge. Controls pretty standard, diff lock, all that fun stuff, you know. So yeah, one thing I'm not a huge fan of is this cable actuated sealed disc brake back here. Sorry for the twitchiness, trying to get you in there. So that's your parking brake and your foot brake, the whole bit. But this sealed unit, I'm sure that it's very durable and gives you a long life. But the sponginess of this brake is just, I mean, I'm right into the bar. I know it's adjustable. It's got like an old school bicycle style threaded adjustment on there, so you can tighten that up. But to me, it's just, I don't know. A park mode in the shifter would be way better. This side is obviously hydraulic, works great, but that's just your front brakes. So it's hydraulic front disc, and then in the rear, you got those cable actuated, the cable actuated sealed disc. And like I say, it's probably gonna last a lifetime. It's probably a really good long-term durability idea, but when it comes to how it feels, it's very spongy and really, really vague. So I'm not a huge fan of that at all. Comfort when you're riding, it's really good. It lifts the front end, it'll wheelie, it'll cruise through corners, doesn't have excessive body roll. Yeah, I'm a fan of the way it rides, albeit I could use a little bit more suspension if you want to get really aggressive. But I mean, hey, we're testing what we're testing, and this is the new 750 AXi. So yeah, nice bike. I like the gauge pod. It's got triple, I think they're 35 watt halogen lights. I think the visuals on it are very aggressive. Sorry, the SE Plus also has this kind of carbon fiber, this faux carbon fiber thing up here, and then back by the gauge pod back here. And it looks nice. And then out back, they've got multiple storage bins. So this one over here is, I believe, 4 liters. Pretty certain that's the 4 liter. That might be the 2.8. But this is, it does have a rubber gasket or a foam gasket, so that's supposed to be watertight. Let me seal it up. This one here is not watertight, no foam gasket. I don't see why it couldn't be, though. It would be probably pretty easy to make it watertight. But it's a, a decent size. You can probably fit a couple bottles of water in there. You could fit a jacket or an extra little bit of like a jersey or some gloves, something like that. Has the 2-inch hitch receiver out back. There's a lot of gussets and welds back here on the frame that are improved. They say that they increased the tube diameter of the frame. I'm not sure if that's everywhere or just some places, but that was a strength thing. Yeah, lots of onboard storage on here. Lots and lots of storage. Anyways, I think that's kind of the tall and the short of the KingQuad 750 AXi. I actually really like this ATV. It's nice, it's comfortable. It's got that big inch single cylinder grunt down low that I really like. Sure, it runs out of steam as it gets going, but that's pretty natural. It's I don't believe it's a super high horsepower ATV. I can't give you exact numbers, but I don't think you'd be blown away by the numbers in horsepower. That's probably why they're not printing them, but it's not disappointing in any way. If you compare it to a V-twin, you're not really comparing apples to apples. So I would say if you're comparing it against the Rincon from Honda or the 700 Grizzly from Yamaha, it's going to definitely, I believe, blow the doors off a Honda Rincon. And I'd be interested to see how it handles up against the new Yamaha 700 Grizzly with their Yamaha built motor. We'll have to see if we can do a test between those two, do a little bit of a shootout, but it's a great bike. They've done a good job. Suzuki has definitely upped their game. We really hope to see them in the side-by-side market soon, because I think Suzuki could do some cool stuff with either a pure sport or a sport utility, kind of a Trax style vehicle. I think they would do really well with. Hopefully they're working on something right now. This shows that they're actually doing some new, some new stuff that they're trying, and that's great to see. Style-wise, this is not going to lose out in a showroom battle. This thing is really, really pretty looking. It's got nice features, and they've done their homework. I know there's going to be people out there who say, yeah, but it's very similar travel. The frame is almost identical. The motor's really not all that different. They've done updates here. They've changed things, and typically from the Japanese manufacturers, we don't see huge leaps forward. We see small refinements because they're worried about long-term durability and reliability. And I think there's something to be said for that, because there's a lot of people who really like their Suzukis, their Yamahas, and their Kawasaki's. And those vehicles do tend to show great reliability and long-term durability. So, you can't knock them for that. They may not be the biggest horsepower or on the cutting edge when it comes to, long travel suspension and whatnot, but their vehicles stay around for a long time, and there's a lot of people who are buying based off of that. So I think they're doing a good job. I'd like to, see a couple of things tweaked on this, namely the tires and the rear cable actuated disc brake and some suspension improvement. But all in all, I think if you buy yourself a new KingQuad 750 AXi, you're going to be happy with it. I really enjoyed grabbing a handful and feeling it kind of do that single cylinder low end torquey acceleration, and it's fun to play around on. Shifts really well, drives nice, power steering is excellent. It's great ATV. So props to Suzuki for coming out with something new and showing us that they're still in the game. They're still working hard, and hopefully they've got a side-by-side up their sleeve that's going to drop really soon, and we'll see where that goes. But we all have our fingers, legs, arms, and anything else we can cross that'll be in the near future. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the walk around. The test ride's coming up this season. You'll see it and get my opinion on even more how it rides, handles, and whatnot. So hope you enjoy.